Welcome back for another deep dive. You guys have really outdone yourselves this time. The articles and research you send in about AI tools are incredible. Looks like everyone's ready to work smarter, not harder. So we're going to focus on tools that can really boost your learning and productivity.
Absolutely. And it feels like we've moved past that whole robots taking over thing and into how can AI supercharge what we're already good at, you
Yeah,
know?
it really does. It's like giving your brain an upgrade. And the tools we're seeing now, mind-blowing. I mean, turning research papers into podcasts, creating visuals right from your notes, even building entire presentations with just a few words.
Yeah, let's jump right into one that really caught my eye. Google Illuminates. It's still experimental, but basically it takes these research papers, specifically PDFs from certain sources, and turns them into audio discussions, almost like a podcast, between two AI voices.
Oh, okay. So instead of slogging through pages of dense academic writing, you can just listen to the key findings being discussed, kind of like eavesdropping on researchers chatting over coffee.
That's the idea, yeah. It goes beyond just reading the paper out loud, though. It's designed to, highlight the main points and simulate how experts might actually discuss the findings.
I see the potential here. This reminds me a bit of Google's Notebook LM, which has that audio overview feature, right? Does something similar, like distilling notes and documents into a more digestible podcast-like format.
Right, exactly. It seems like Google's really exploring different ways to make complex information more accessible. Just imagine, being able to upload your own PDFs to Illuminates and getting a custom audio breakdown. It'd be a game changer for research and learning.
Totally. Especially for people who learn best by listening. Now, if we're talking about making learning more engaging, we have to mention Napkin AI. This tool can actually turn text prompts into visuals, diagrams, graphic elements, you name it.
Oh, it's great. It's a fantastic way to bring ideas to life visually, whether you're making presentations or just trying to wrap your head around a complicated concept. And the best part, they have a free plan. Anyone can try it out.
I love that. And speaking of presentations, let's move on to Gamma, which is an AI-powered presentation builder that kind of blows traditional slide decks out of the water. Instead of starting from scratch, you give Gamma a text prompt, and it generates the entire presentation for you, complete with AI-written copy and images.
It's incredible the amount of time and effort this could save. And honestly, the quality of the visuals is really impressive.
Right. Imagine combining Napkin AI and Gamma, like using those unique visuals from Napkin right inside your Gamma presentations. That's a power combo for anyone who wants to create visually stunning content.
Oh, totally. It's fascinating how these tools can work together to streamline creative workflows. And speaking of pushing boundaries, let's talk about Speechomatics Flow, which is a conversational AI API that's making some serious waves in voice technology.
Okay, now things are getting really interesting. Flow can do things that other models really struggle with. It can actually tell the difference between multiple speakers, understand different accents and dialects, and even filter out background noise.
They even did a head-to-head comparison with OpenAI, and Flow consistently came out on top, especially when it came to, recognizing speakers by name, understanding diverse accents, and ignoring all those distractions.
Wow, that's impressive. I mean, this could be a game changer for making voice technology more accessible and inclusive. Imagine a world where AI can understand anyone, regardless of their accent or how noisy their environment is.
Huge step towards making technology work for everyone, for sure. And speaking of creating more human-like interactions with technology, Hain AI Avatars just added this new Generate Looks feature. So now you can use text prompts to create these realistic, customized avatars for your video content.
Okay, that's cool. So instead of being stuck with those pre-made avatars, you can really tailor the look of your AI presenter to fit your style or message. I saw an example where they made like a doctor avatar to deliver a health tip, and you could even tweak things like facial expressions.
It opens up a whole new level of creativity and personalization, especially for those visual learners who connect with that kind of visual presentation.
Now we also have this new player in the game, Pixtral. It's a free, open-source, multimodal language model, and it comes from Mistel.
Yeah, what makes Pixtral unique is its ability to understand and process both text and images.
Wait, so it can, like, see and read at the same time.
Hmm.
The source mentioned using it to extract text from images, which sounds like a huge time saver. Imagine pulling text directly from infographics or diagrams.
Absolutely. Opens up a ton of possibilities for anyone working with visual information.
And lastly, we have Utter AI, which is a tool that acts as your AI assistant for online meetings. Those meetings on Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, the ones we all love so much.
Well, Utter AI has been around for a while, but they just added this feature called Utter AI Chat. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Oh, do tell. What does Utter AI Chat do?
Well, it lets you have actual conversations with the transcripts of your meetings. Think of it like having an AI partner who's helping you make sense of everything that was discussed.
Hold on. So you can actually ask Utter AI specific questions about the meeting, like, what did so-and-so say about the budget? And it pulls up that info from the transcript.
Exactly. It's like having a searchable AI-powered memory of every meeting you attend. Talk about a productivity boost.
It's like having a personal AI note taker, but it can also analyze everything.
Right. It really shows how AI is going from a passive tool to an active collaborator. We're not just processing information anymore, we're having conversations with it.
I'm hooked. But before we move on, I want to circle back to Google Illuminates for a sec. You said it turns research papers into audio discussions. But what do those AI voices actually sound like? Are they, like, robotic? Or are they more natural?
That's a good question. Based on what I've heard with Notebook LM's audio overview, which uses similar tech, the voices are surprisingly natural, not quite human-like yet, but definitely not the robotic monotone you might expect.
So it actually feels like you're listening to a conversation. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious about the limitations. You mentioned that it's still experimental and limited to PDFs from certain sources. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a limitation for sure, but I think it makes sense. Google's probably being cautious about copyright stuff and making sure the information is accurate. These AI tools are still learning, right? So there's always a chance for them to misinterpret things.
That's a really important point. As excited as we are about the possibilities, we have to be aware of the limitations and potential risks. Okay, let's switch gears for a minute and talk about Napkin AI and its ability to make visuals from text. Do you think this could be a game changer for people who struggle with, like, traditional note-taking or brainstorming?
Oh, absolutely. Visual thinking is super powerful, but not everyone finds it easy to actually create visuals. Napkin AI can bridge that gap, allows anyone to express their ideas visually, no matter their artistic skills. Imagine a tool that turns your thoughts into diagrams and graphics just like that.
It sounds like a dream come true for visual learners. Speaking of making complex information more accessible, let's talk about Gamma, that AI presentation builder. This sounds like a godsend for anyone who dreads making slide decks. Do you think it could actually, like, replace traditional presentation software, like PowerPoint, someday?
That's a tough one. I definitely think Gamma has the potential to revolutionize presentations, but I don't see it totally replacing traditional software just yet.
Really? Why not? I mean, it sounds like it does everything for you.
Well, Gamma is fantastic for generating a starting point, but for, really professional or highly customized presentations, people might still want the fine-grained control that traditional software offers.
So it's more about giving you a head start, freeing you up to focus on the creative elements.
Exactly. It's all about augmenting human creativity, not replacing it. And that's a theme we're seeing across a lot of these AI tools, actually. They're designed to empower us, not take over.
I love that. It's a much more optimistic and empowering take on AI than all the doom and gloom stuff we often hear. Now, about Speechmatic's flow and its ability to understand all those different accents and dialects, do you think this could really make voice technology more inclusive?
Absolutely. For way too long, voice recognition tech has struggled to accurately understand people with diverse accents. It's created barriers in all sorts of fields. Speechmatic's Flow is a major step toward fixing that, making voice tech more equitable and accessible for everyone.
It's about making sure everyone's voice can be heard and understood. And speaking of creating more human-like experiences with AI, let's dig a little deeper into Henne AI avatars and that new Generate Looks feature. It's cool that we can customize avatars now, but what are the implications for diversity and representation in, like, the virtual world?
It's a fascinating question for sure. The ability to make custom avatars could lead to a much more diverse and inclusive virtual landscape, a place where people can accurately represent their identities, regardless of their race, gender, ethnicity, or physical ability.
Wow, that's a really exciting thought. It could help challenge those often, homogenous and unrealistic beauty standards we see in a lot of virtual spaces.
But there's also the potential for misuse, right? We need to be aware that people might create avatars that perpetuate harmful stereotypes or misrepresent themselves.
It's a double-edged sword, like any powerful technology.
Right.
We need to think carefully about its potential benefits and risks and make sure it's used responsibly. Now let's talk about Pixtrol, the free open-source language model that can understand both text and images. That multimodal capability sounds revolutionary for visual learners.
Oh, it's huge. Being able to interact seamlessly with both text and images is crucial for those learners, and Pixel really opens up a world of possibilities.
Just imagine being able to ask Pixtrol to explain a complex diagram or translate the text in an image to another language. The possibilities are endless.
And the fact that it's open source is fantastic. Anyone can access it and contribute to its development, making sure it keeps evolving to meet the needs of all kinds of learners.
It's a real testament to the power of collaboration and open source development. Finally, we have Utter AI and its new AI chat feature. That lets you have actual conversations with the transcripts of your online meetings. It's like having a personal AI note-taker and analyst in every meeting.
Right. No more struggling to keep up with notes or searching endlessly through transcripts. With Utter AI Chat, you can instantly get those key takeaways, generate action items, and even analyze the sentiment to understand, like, the overall vibe of the meeting.
It feels like it could completely revolutionize how we work and collaborate. It's incredible how AI is changing the way we capture and interact with information.
Yeah, it really is amazing. It's like we were saying before, these tools are really becoming extensions of our own abilities. Like if I'm using Napkin AI to create visuals, that's still my creativity, right? It's just
Yeah.
like amplified.
Exactly. It's like having, a whole team of experts working with you. You bring the vision, the initial spark, and these tools help you build it out, make it a reality. That's what I find so inspiring about all this. It's not AI taking over, it's humans and AI working together to do things we couldn't do on our own, like with Utter AI in meetings. Instead of drowning in notes, you're actually having a conversation with the information.
It really is a powerful shift. It goes way beyond just remembering what was said. It's about getting those nuances, the themes, the stuff you might have missed in the moment.
It's like having an AI partner helping you make sense of it all. But with all this automation and efficiency, does it, I don't know, make us too reliant on these tools? Do we lose something by not doing the hard work ourselves?
It's a valid concern for sure. But like any tool, it all comes down to how you use it, right? Think of it like a hammer. A hammer can build a house or break a window. The key with these AI tools is to use them mindfully, as a way to enhance what we can do, not replace us entirely.
So it's not about giving up control. It's about being smart about how we integrate these tools. And the crazy thing is, this is just the beginning. We've only just scratched the surface of what AI can do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the challenge and the opportunity come in. As these tools keep evolving, we all get to be a part of shaping them, defining their role in the world.
It really feels like we're on the edge of something huge. And with each of these tools, you could spend days exploring all the possibilities.
Oh, absolutely. That's what's so exciting about this whole wave of AI development. It's not about replacing how we think. It's about giving us new ways to think, to understand better, to communicate more effectively.
You mentioned earlier about AI being able to understand different accents. That alone feels like a massive leap forward, especially as voice becomes like the main way we interact with technology.
Oh, it is. Think of all the ways we use voice commands or dictation now,
Yep.
writing emails, controlling those smart home devices. If those systems can understand everyone, no matter their accent, it breaks down so many barriers.
It's about making tech truly inclusive, which is something we should all be excited about. And speaking of pushing boundaries, those AI presentations, it sounds almost too good to be true. Can Gamma really create a good presentation from just a few sentences?
It can definitely give you a solid starting point. Imagine you're prepping for a meeting, right? Instead of staring at a blank slide, you give Gamma a quick summary. Boom, you've got visuals, layouts, even some talking points.
That would save so much time. But doesn't that mean we'll all end up giving the same cookie-cutter presentations? Where's the room for, like, our own style?
That's where you come in. Think of it like, an architect drawing up blueprints. You still get to choose the materials, the finishes, all the details that make it your own. Gamma gives you the framework, you make it sing.
So it's not about replacing creativity. It's about freeing us up to do the more creative stuff. Which brings us back to something you said before. These tools are extensions of what we can already do.
Right. It's like having, a whole team of experts working with you. You bring the vision, the initial spark, and these tools help you build it out, make it a reality.
It's not AI taking over. It's humans and AI working together to do things we couldn't do on our own. We see that with tools like Utter AI too,
Yeah.
right? We're not drowning in notes, we're actually having a conversation with the information.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about all this. It's not about replacing how we think. It's about giving us new ways to think, to understand better, to communicate more effectively.
And don't forget about the potential of, that multimodal AI like Pixtrol. The fact that it can understand both text and images, that opens up a whole other world of possibilities. It's like AI is finally catching up to how we naturally take in information. We don't just read or listen, we see, we touch, we experience things with all our senses.
Exactly. And as AI becomes more multimodal, it'll become more intuitive, more human-centered, kind of blurring the lines between the physical and the digital.
I can't wait to see where that leads. And then there's this increasing personalization of AI. Tools like Hain AI avatars with their customizable features, that's just the beginning. I think we'll see more AI that adapts to our own learning styles, preferences, our own individual goals.
It's like the ultimate expression of AI as an extension of ourselves. Instead of us all fitting into one mold, AI becomes a reflection of who we are, what we want to achieve.
It's a powerful vision. But it also raises the question, what role will humans play in a world where AI is becoming more and more personalized, more capable?
That's the million-dollar question. But I believe humans will always have a vital role, especially in areas that need creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, all of that.
AI can help us do things better,
Yeah.
but it can't replace that human spark, that thing that makes us who we are.
Exactly. And as AI keeps evolving, it's going to be even more important for us to develop those uniquely human skills.
It's about finding that balance, that perfect collaboration between humans and AI.
And that's what makes this such an exciting time to be alive. We're right on the edge of a tech revolution. And it's up to all of us to make sure it benefits humanity.
So what does all this mean for you, our listener?
It means stay curious, stay informed, and be a part of shaping this future of AI. Don't be afraid to try out these tools, see what they can do, ask the tough questions about how they're impacting our lives.
The future of knowledge is unfolding right now, and it's interactive, engaging, and full of possibilities. Until next time, keep diving deep.